In a world of Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, Bitcoin, checks might feel a little old school, but they're still very important. So today I'll show you how to write a check the right way, how to read every part of it, and why it still matters in real life, from paying rent to getting paid. So let's check it out. I got a check right here. And I hope you love the art, but pretty much what we're looking at right here is a blank check, and let's break down every piece of it. So at the top right here, you can see Joel Shakur. That means this is my checks. Makes very much sense right there. We got to date it. That 999 right here, that is the check number. And the check number can show up at the bottom left. It could show up right here in the middle, or it could show up right here on the far right. And you'll see all of these zeros to the far left. That is the routing number. And the routing number is just like the bank's identifier code. And then at each bank, you have your own account number. And that is what these X's symbolize. So that'll be your account number. And those will actually be numbers. It won't be a whole bunch of X's. You could also see Bank of Joel, that's the bank name. And then you see a couple different lines. So let's start with pay to the order. Pay to the order is who you're giving the check to. So if you're depositing into my account from Joel, even though it's my checks, I could write from Bank of Joel to Bank of Joel Shakur, my other bank. And I could just make it out to myself, Joel Shakur. You never want to give out a blank check, and we'll continue talking about that as we get into it. So you can make it out to yourself, or if you're depositing it at a specific bank, you could put the bank you're depositing at for the pay to the order of, or if you're paying somebody, you could put their name, or if you just need cash out of your bank account, you can write cash. There's also what's called a memo line. That's usually bottom left. You could write whatever you need to over here. So let's say you're buying a fishing pole and you just want to track that expense and know what you spent this check on. There you go. So let's get back to these other lines. So let's do the pay to the order of cash. And let's say we need $1,000 out of our account. So banks don't go by what's right here. This is just a decoration as far as the bank goes. Banks have to go by what's called the legal line. And on the legal line, it's this long one right here. You would have to actually write out how much the check is for. So in this case, it would be $1,000. And you could write it like that, push the line so nobody could write something out after it. Or you can write, if no change, it's like 00 over 100. You could do it like that. Really, you could like leave it blank. That is not a good practice though, because sometimes people could like scratch it off and like add 1,100 here at the end. And then remember, banks don't go by that number. They got to go by the legal amount, the legal line. So that's why a lot of people push this like that. Push that line off so nobody could write nothing after it. Also, in order for a check to be a good check, it has to be signed. So, boom, there's a great signature. Then the date also matters, because let's say this check was dated for tomorrow's date and we try to deposit it into our bank account today. The bank won't do it because it's for tomorrow or next week. It's future dated. So banks don't want anything to do with that. Also, if the check is older than 6 months, that's what's called a stale dated check. So it's too old, the bank will recommend that you take it back to the person who wrote it to you and get a new check issued. Now, let's go back to this amount right here. So we got the 1,000 right there. Let's say we accidentally wrote 100 and we're getting paid. This was paid to John. Let's put John. And John takes this check to either my bank, Bank of Joel, or he takes it to his bank, Bank of John. And he could try to cash it, or he could deposit it at his bank or cash it at his bank. Usually if you take it to the Bank of Joel, they'll only cash it if you don't have an account there. Because this check is made out for $100. I'm expecting 1,000 and it has the number right there. The bank can only do it for $100. So that's why it's super important. And we just talked about the date. So that's a little bit about checks, how to read them, what all the numbers mean, the memo line. Remember, it got to be, you got to sign it. Oftentimes on the back of the check, there's also a line. That is where you endorse it. So let's say we flip this check over and we're just looking at the blank side of the check. So let's say that's the background of the check. There's usually a line right here. Let's say Joel is paying John, and let's pretend I am John just for a sec. Because Joel signed it, in order for John to deposit or cash his check, they're going to want John to what's called endorse the back. So let's just say John is the signature. That's what he wants to sign it. And if you're going to just cash it, this could be a blank endorsement. It's just John on there. Or let's say John's depositing it at his bank. So you could put a restrictive endorsement on the back, which would be for deposit only. And let's say John's bank account ends in 3321. You could just put a little star, 3321, or you could put the whole account through. So that's a little bit on checks, y'all. Hope it was valuable, and now you understand how to handle checks like a pro, whether you're writing one or cashing one. If this video helped, please hit the like button, subscribe. I got some more coming for you. This video is part of my Banking for Beginners series. So check out the full playlist to really level up your money skills one step at a time. Anyways, y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. Peace out. Hope it was a blast. See you next time.